Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite publishers and I'm going to do so in a top 5 list. If you have watched my channel for the past 3, 4, 5 years, then you will not find much surprise in this list, but I still want to share my favorite publishers and what I enjoy about them. So yeah, let's begin. So at number 5, it was probably the hardest one to pick because I have there's quite a few publishers that are like really good. They produce excellent quality books, but it's hard to really pick one from the list. But I will mention one other at least that I could have picked for my number 5 spot, and that is Faber and Faber. And especially I own a lot of the poetry works, poetry editions, and especially Sylvia Plath and Ted Hughes, which Faber Faber publish a lot from. And they produce a lot of high quality, just simplistic but really elegant and nice editions. And especially the poetry collection which I have here. This is Ted Hughes. They are sewn, although they are paperbacks, they are sewn, but with the acid-free paper. And just excellent quality always from Faber and Faber. I have never been disappointed with them, and they always come in a good, reasonable price. Here's another example of a hardcover edition from Faber and Faber. This is sewn as well by Sylvia Plath. And sometimes they do special editions as well. And I think they have a membership in the UK that they haven't opened worldwide yet, but where you can get special editions also. But Faber and Faber definitely very close to placing at number 5. But at number 5 we have a publisher that is originated in the US. It is Tuttle Publishing, and Tuttle really focused their publishing on arts and crafts from Asia mainly. They publish a lot of books related to Japan, which is why I picked them on number 5, because they really have such a large collection of books that are relevant to me. So they really have a lot of books related to Japan, everything from art, architecture, culture, history, and even some classics, as you can see here with the Kojiki. And also why I enjoy Tuttle, they always put a lot of nice detail and effort into their books. Even their paperbacks, like this one, it's a regular paperback, but it has a sewn binding, which I never find among most publishers these days. It's very rare. But they also publish books like this Tuttle Classics edition, which is a slipcase edition of the Book of Tea. A very lovely book, not that expensive also. And they make larger format art books like this ukiyo-e art book. Fantastic paper and print quality, so Tuttle is definitely perfect for you if you enjoy reading about Japan, learning about Japanese culture or Asian culture, because they don't just focus on Japan. So yeah, that was my number 5 pick, Tuttle Publishing. And at number 4 we have a fairly recent publisher that I found out. I haven't explored it fully yet, but it's already becoming one of my favorites. It's very similar to Taschen. The publisher is called Phaidon. It originated in Austria, but I think the main locations, the headquarters are now in London and New York. Phaidon is an fantastic, innovative publisher that I enjoy so much from what I have seen so far. They, just like Taschen, make a lot of books, art books, photography, cooking and food, architecture, design, fashion, all of that. Very similar to Taschen in that regard. But the books that I own are so unique and very just outstanding quality, especially for the price. It's a bit higher than, well, it's fairly similar to Taschen books, I guess, but it's definitely not cheap books. but they are definitely worth the price. When you look at the building quality of the books, the materials used, and all of that. For an example, we have here Japan the Cookbook, and Phaidon have a lovely cookbook series with cookbooks from all around the world. But here we have Japan the Cookbook by Nancy Singleton Hachitsu. Fantastic binding materials. It's a paper that feels like it has wood panels because it's textured in that way, making it really feel to the touch even, and definitely with the eyes it really looks like wood panel. And they, from what I have seen, they have a lot of books similar to this one. Currently I only own 2 books, but I do plan to get a lot more. I have Japan the Cookbook and also Understanding Architecture, which is a really sublime quality, really innovative books that Phaidon are creating. And just from these 2 books, they are already, and from having watched a lot of their collection on their website, they are already becoming one of my favorite publishers right now. Although this list can change, of course, depending on what new books will come in the future. But Phaidon, so far, it gets the number 4 spot. Maybe that tells a bit about the book publishing scene. I don't know. But yeah, Phaidon at number 4. And the publisher at spot number 3 is not a surprise. It is the fan favorite Everyman's Library. Everyman's Library produce a lot of classic literature mainly, but the thing with Everyman's Library is that they sell cheap or fairly inexpensive hardcover editions that have Smithsonian binding, acid-free paper, cloth binding, which I will show here. And you always know what you will get when you buy an Everyman's Library book, although there have been some problems with some books being glued, but I think they have sorted that thing out. But Everyman's Library is always a publisher that you can go to when you want a decent, not even decent, a good quality book for a fair price, and not many publishers offer this kind of quality for the price nowadays. Everyman's Library, which I have a fairly large collection of, is always one of my go-to publishers for classic works, my favorite classic works. And authors that I especially collect are Russian literature, Dostoevsky, and some English writers as well, like Orwell. The thing with Everyman's Library, though, is that the translations are sometimes not the most modern or best ones. They tend to pick the ones that are free to use, so that's fine, that's fair. But there are not many modern translations. But yeah, Everyman's Library books, outstanding, can really recommend them. They are lovely to collect and offer a good amount of quality for the price. And at number 2 we have my favorite art publisher. It is the great German-based publisher Taschen, which is a luxury art publisher, I would call them. The top of the line stuff, their limited editions that goes for thousands and thousands of dollars, are definitely for people that have a very large appetite for high quality stuff and a very large budget. I don't think those kinds of books are what people are interested in, although they are nice to look at on the website. It's some of the books I will never even consider getting ever. So I'm talking about the standard editions or the XL editions or XXL editions that they have. So Taschen is an art publisher mainly, but they also publish a lot of photography, architecture, fashion, design, pop culture, erotic books, food, stuff like that. Very similar to Phaidon. But Taschen produce so many books that are of very good prices for the quality that they offer. And it really makes me happy to have Taschen. They really produce outstanding editions, and I have published a lot of videos where I show Taschen editions, and the Taschen is just outstanding when it comes to quality for the price. Like these kinds of ukiyo-e art books that they have, you can't really get anything like this for this price anywhere else. And I'm so happy that they are year after year producing fantastic books. And it's also so good with Taschen because they have 2 yearly sales where you can find editions that sometimes go for half the price. So if you wait until, like, I think the sales are around the summer in June or July, and then also in January, I think they have 2 sales per year, but I'm not sure. But either way, if you wait for the Taschen sale, then you are in for a treat. Let's just say that. And they have also started like new interesting series like the Library of Esoterica, which is fantastic. Yeah, you always know what you get with Taschen. You get good quality for a good price. And if you're interested in, like I said, art or architecture or anything like that, then Taschen is the publisher for you. And you have to check them out. They have always been, since I started collecting books, they have always been with me and always produced. And I've always bought so many books from them because I know that I will never be disappointed with a Taschen book. So that is my pick at number 2. And then we have the number 1 spot, which will come to no surprise to you all. It is the great London-based publisher Folio Society. Folio Society was the book publisher that introduced me to fine editions. I think it was the Dune by Frank Herbert, the Folio Society edition. I don't know how many years ago it was, but it was, I think 5, 6 years ago, or even, was it even longer? I can't remember. But it was around 2015, I think, where I discovered Folio Society, and they have been going on for a very long time and published great books for so long. Folio Society, they have really specialized in illustrated editions of classics, but they also produce all kinds of books from all over the world. A lot of fun authors, a lot of history books, a lot of classics, a lot of modern works nowadays also. They are even publishing comic books, fantasy, science fiction, all of it illustrated, all of it comes in such a good quality. The prices sadly have gone up recently in the past years, and some of the books really, it's hard for me personally to buy that many books from Folio Society nowadays because the prices are just too high, and the shipping costs and all of that. So I have really lowered my buying amounts from the Folio Society. And a lot of the books they have published recently hasn't really interested me much. But the second-hand market is so filled with Folio Society books from so many decades past, so you can really find great gems there. But Folio Society always it will always be my favorite publisher. They have so many limited edition. You can see a lot of the Folio Society books from behind here. We have Folio Society all the way here. I have limited editions. The Alice in Wonderland, which is probably my favorite edition that I own, is from the Folio Society. So you will just find the most wonderful books from this publisher. If you have never heard of Folio Society or checked them out, then please go to my channel and look at some of the videos that I have of their books. They are just magical. And I hope they will continue to prosper for many years to come. I know they have been struggling a bit, and they are trying to bring in new audiences with the fantasy books, the sci-fi books that they are producing, and the new limited editions, which I don't really enjoy that much. Some of the books that they have been publishing, like the leather-bound classics, limited editions like Frankenstein. They did the Lord of the Rings limited edition. It wasn't really to my taste, a bit too expensive and not that not to my liking. But Folio Society, outstanding. My favorite, will always be my favorite, I think. I will always buy books from them, and you will find so many Folio Society books on my channel. Anything you desire in terms of literature you can find at Folio Society, and definitely if you check out the secondhand market as well. So that's my top 5. Let me make a summary. At number 5 we have Tuttle, at 4 we have Phaidon, at 3 Everyman's Library, 2 Taschen, and 1 Folio Society. And as you can notice, I haven't really talked anything about like the fine press publishers that produce limited editions in very small amounts, like Amaranthine Books or Limited Edition Club or anything like that. Because I haven't really gone into those kinds of publishers much in the last years. I have definitely slowed down my own book buying, and I haven't explored those smaller independent publishers that much. So my list is a bit, it's not really surprising. It's, but I hope it was enjoyable, and my rambling was interesting to hear. Please, if you have any favorites outside of these publishers, then please let me know, or even if you enjoy these publishers as well, I would like to hear that. But that was my top 5 publishers. I've talked for way too long now. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank the people that support my channel, my patrons and my YouTube members, and I want to give a special thank you to Shane Sherbert for the support as a bibliophile team member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time.